Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski, and today I wanted to make one of my most important videos in my opinion, or at least talk about what is in my opinion one of the most important topics and questions to answer within PokeMMO, and that is giving you guys ideas and tips for post-game goals. Now, when I say post-game goals, I'm usually referring to a player who has at least completed one storyline, maybe even all four of the storylines ideally, and these are sort of things to do at the end game. After you're done completing all the storylines, that's when the game really begins, and I think a lot of people end up at, getting to that point, completing all of the storylines, and then asking themselves, what do I do now? What's next? And hopefully this video is going to give you guys some good, more specific niche ideas even. I have a very basic general video if you want to see that called top 5 post-game goals for new players. Hopefully that will be linked in the description below, but this is going to be more specific stuff, more in depth, more I guess niche stuff if you want to talk about that. So there's going to be 10 things we're going to talk about. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, first things first, number 1, this one is not for the faint of heart. This is going to be the PokeMMO Nuzlocke challenge. So you might be familiar with the Nuzlocke if you're familiar with any sort of challenging Pokemon type gameplay. But a Nuzlocke challenge is essentially a challenge where you are able to only catch one Pokemon on each route in each location in PokeMMO or in Pokemon in general, and you're only allowed to catch one Pokemon per route, and then if your Pokemon is defeated in a battle or in a gym or whatever, it is dead forever. So you have permanently dead Pokemon. You can see on my Nuzlocke account over here, I do have these 4 Pokemon which have been vanquished to this box forever. They are forever dead. I can never use them ever again. And this is especially tough in PokeMMO since obviously the storyline's a lot more difficult. IVs become a lot more important. EV training becomes more important. Items are difficult. Pokeyen is strict. You're also in the Pokemon Nuzlocke. Usually you can implement your own rules and do whatever you would like, but I personally don't like to allow myself access to the GTL. I'm not allowed to buy things or sell things. That would be totally unfair. That would be way too powerful. And it makes this challenge pretty unique and pretty interesting compared to any other sort of Pokemon traditional game Nuzlocke, since the PokeMMO AI and Pokemon mechanics itself are so unique and so different. Something I talk about a lot is how Gen 1 Fire Red Kanto is way different of a storyline in PokeMMO, mostly just because of the different starters or because of what the different starters can do. So for example, Blastoise in PokeMMO is able to learn Shell Smash. The fact that Gen 8 movesets are in PokeMMO in a Gen 1 game, or Gen 3, Gen 5, whatever, is a big deal. The fact that Blastoise can learn Shell Smash is a really big deal, really high risk, high reward sort of move that can be really dangerous in a Nuzlocke or could be really powerful. I didn't opt for it in my Nuzlocke. I went for the safer route of Venusaur, but that's a good example of all these different interesting strategies you could try in PokeMMO that wouldn't exist in a traditional Fire Red or other Pokemon Nuzlocke. Alright, number 2, the next thing I want to talk about is Battle Tower. So if you have Hoenn completed or Hoenn locked, you can come over here, fly over to the Battle Frontier, and if you're not familiar with Battle Tower, it's essentially this sort of endgame PVM type challenge. You can go ahead and battle different trainers and work your way up the tower. There's a lot of things on this list, this being one of them that even I haven't experimented with too much. I've been playing this game for 9 years. I talk about it all the time, probably over around 5,800 hours if you count all hours and everything, different accounts, and I still haven't experienced everything that Battle Tower has to offer. You can go ahead and talk to all these guys and see what kind of challenges might happen, why it might exist. I can go ahead and show you guys a good example. Let's go ahead and first cover all the different types of multi-battles or battles that you can encounter in the Battle Frontier. And it's important to understand that for the Battle Frontier, you either want level 50 or below Pokemon, or level 50 Pokemon, I should say. Level 50 Pokemon or level 100. This will actually not scale down your Pokemon properly the same way that PvP would, which is kind of unfortunate. So we first have the single battle room, which is just single battles versus increased, difficulty AI. We then have the double battle room, which is double battles versus increased difficulty AI and increasingly difficult Pokemon and everything. Then we have the multi-battle room. Honestly, I think that's when you battle up with an NPC. Someone could correct me. I'm honestly not super sure on that. Once again, I'm not super familiar with every piece of content, in this game. There's so much to offer. Now, this one is the Link multi-battle rooms. This one's cool. So you can actually team up with a friend. Come here. If you have a friend late game, if you guys want to play together, this is a great piece of PVM content to do alongside other people. If you're a social person, if you like doing that sort of thing, grab a friend, come to Battle Tower and do this sort of thing. I can go ahead and show you guys a good example of what I do. I do the double battle thing generally. Make sure I have my team be eligible. Now, for your team to be eligible, you need to have 4 different Pokemon and 4 different items on those Pokemon. I'm going to be trying to show you guys the level 100 bracket here. I usually do level 50s, but a lot of these Pokemon have gotten higher level over time. So now we're going to go ahead and see what it looks like inside. I've done around 20 as my highest streak, which isn't a very high streak, but you guys will see what I mean by that. We essentially get taken over to battle different types of trainers, and here's our first challenger. It starts off really easy, and then it gets more and more difficult as you work your way up the battle tower. So we're against Execute and a Ralts, obviously very low level Pokemon at first, but it quickly gets very difficult. They get very powerful, and it's a pretty fun time. So definitely recommend at least trying this out, at least checking this out if you want if you're looking for some sort of endgame PVM content. Here's me defeating that first trainer here, so we'll go ahead and see what happens after. Another trainer will come in, I believe, or she'll come talk to you. She'll heal your Pokemon, and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and retire. I don't really want to do this. Just wanted to show you guys that as an example. So that's what the battle tower looks like. Definitely check it out, at least for, 15 minutes or so, and give it a try. All right, post-game goal number 3 I want to talk about is actually going to be completing the Pokedex. Once again, something I haven't done, but a really cool thing to work towards. There's actually a great PokeMMO YouTuber named Tnums who is working on doing a catching location guide to help you complete your Pokedex for each single Pokemon in PokeMMO, which is a really cool resource to have access to. But if you ever don't know where to catch a Pokemon, you can always just click on it, go to wild locations, and pretty much see where anything is at. Even if you haven't seen it before, I'm pretty sure you can still do that. So for example, why not? I can still go over wild locations even though I don't have it seen in my decks, I don't have it caught, I don't have any sort of, same with Meganium or yeah, I think it's Bayleaf. It's Bayleaf. Same with Crocodile. You can still see if they have wild locations, even if you don't have them in your deck. So that's still a great resource. The Pokedex is a really cool thing. Also, they recently added rewards for actually completing your Pokedex, so you will get an ability patch, a hidden ability patch in each region, depending on the starter that you chose for that region, which is a big deal. It can be a lot of Pokeyen as a reward. I believe the grass ability patch is by far the most expensive still. Let's go ahead and see if we can find it. Something like 1.3 mil or so, I'd assume. Scroll down to find the cheapest. Yeah, around 1.2 mil or so. So if you picked Bulbasaur, Trico, Turtwig, or Snivy in any of the regions, and you completed those regions, and you complete the Pokedex in each of those regions, you can also tell which region and go over to National Pokedex. You can sort by Kanto Pokedex, you can sort by Sinnoh Pokedex, you can sort by Hoenn Pokedex, you can sort by you can sort to see which Pokedex you have complete, you almost have complete, etc., etc. So completing each Pokedex region by region is important to get those ability patches, and then obviously completing the Pokedex in its entirety is a fun achievement. All right, post-game goal number 4 is going to talk about catching legendaries. Now, if you don't know how legendaries Pokemon work in PokeMMO, I'll be trying to link a guide in the description below explaining them. But essentially, legendaries act as sort of a King of the Hill style minigame, which is really cool in my opinion. I actually don't even know if I have any of them in my decks, like Arceus, Rayquaza. I don't think I have any of them, which is a really cool thing. This is something that I haven't done yet, so I would love to go try to explore this at some point. But essentially, you can find Arceus, Rayquaza, Mewtwo, and there's one I'm forgetting off the top of my head out in the wild. I believe it might be, I don't think it's Reshiram, is it? It might be something like, I think it's Kyurem or something like that. But you can go find these legendary Pokemon in specific locations in the wild, and then once you own them, you are forced to accept PvP battles, and then if someone defeats you, they then take control of the legendary. So you can either go hunt for that legendary in the wild itself, or you can go battle someone in PvP and take it from them and have that control, get it registered in your Pokedex, and just have a cool flex. Being able to have that screenshot or that flex in your Pokedex is a really cool thing, and it's just a fun thing to achieve once again. All right, on to unique goal number 5. This one is going to be building a specific type of PvP team. In this video, I'm actually going to be specifically talking about a monotype team because I really like monotype. You could also go ahead and build like a Little Cup team or something like that. Now, these PvP tiers are obviously not official tiers. You can't go and you can't queue for Little Cup, you can't queue for monotype, etc., etc. You actually used to be able to queue for Little Cup, but that was back in the day. They've henceforth gotten rid of official Little Cup support, unfortunately, which makes sense, but you can go ahead and try to build a monotype team or a Little Cup team. I really like these things. They still do host official tournaments for Little Cup and monotype. It's just not nearly as often as other official tournaments or other tiers. They might do it like once a month or once every 3 months, maybe even. It's a lot less common than OU, UU doubles or NU tournaments, but it's still a really cool, interesting thing to do if you really, really like a specific type. I'm a huge bug type fan. I really love the idea of sitting down and meticulously planning and strategizing and trying to build the perfect, most balanced Pokemon PvP tier, only using bug type. I think it's a really fun thing. And even if you just do it for fun, I always think collecting comps is a really good thing to do in PokeMMO, even if you don't play that much competitive. I'm a really good example of this. I heavily prefer making EV training, breeding, XP training, and collecting competitive Pokemon than actually playing comp. I don't play that much competitive Pokemon in PokeMMO that much, honestly. I'd spend a lot more time actually making the comps and just collecting them. It's a lot more fun for me. So if you enjoy that, maybe check this out. If you actually do want to battle with the team, that also works for this. So I think monotype teams, little cup teams, any sort of specific niche team like that is really fun. Now, goal number 6 is going to be pretty similar to a monotype PvP team, but this is going to be building a specific shiny team. And this is a really cool goal that I've seen a lot of people do. Some people set goals like building a full shiny dragon team. Some people want a full shiny, NU team. I've definitely worked towards that goal, and I think I kind of have it. Full shiny UU team, a full shiny OU team, full shiny little cup team. Maybe you even want some utility Pokemon. Building a full shiny utility team of things like Smeargles, Pikachus, catching Dragonite, catching Pokemon, or not Dragonite, HM friends, etc. Dig Pokemon, teleport Pokemon, cute charm Pokemon. Building all sorts, or trying to collect all sorts of shiny utility Pokemon or shiny stuff like that, or shiny gym rerun teams. That's one of the coolest ones. Obviously, getting 2 shiny Cyndaquils is pretty borderline impossible, but you can go ahead and get, in Blastoises, you can go ahead and get the shiny Torkoal and the shiny Cottony pretty easily. Those are these pretty decent hunts, pretty fair hunts overall. I think anyone could sort of go for those and get those if they put in the work and the effort. So there's a lot of fun sort of shinies you can hunt for, that not just to like flex a specific type of shiny, but also to have that overarching goal of actually building a team with those shiny Pokemon. Alright, goal number 7 is a cool one in my opinion, something that I have done a lot of times. If you like MMO economies, if you like MMO investing, or just even collecting, if you're a collector, investor, economy guy, whatever it may be, collecting large stocks or just investing in one specific item is really fun in my opinion, whether that item is actually a good investment or not. A really good example of both of these is, for example, me and my team, we really like collecting damp rocks. I couldn't tell you why, it just became a big meme item. It became like a fun thing to collect. They're really cheap, or just rocks of all kind. Heat rocks, damp rocks, smooth rocks, icy rocks. We just started collecting them. It's just fun. They're a really cheap item. Getting like huge stacks of damp rocks isn't super expensive. Try to find your favorite item within the game and then just start collecting it. I actually used to do something very similar in old school RuneScape where I would collect goblin mail. A very useless item if you're aware of it, but you know what? It's really fun to collect. If you want to collect thousands of red fireworks or thousands of pretty wings or any of these cheaper items, quick powder, I think it's a really fun thing. I think it's something that's super underrated. Seeing that stack grow and seeing that collection grow is really enjoyable. It might not be for everyone, but hey, I really enjoyed or collecting a certain type of Pokeball, like luxury balls are a pretty good thing. Maybe even collecting some sort of TM. Explosion TMs are really cheap. If you really love the move Explosion, maybe you want to start collecting that TM to have some fun. Now, some other examples of items that are a little more investigatory, a little more strategic, things like Kobons, things like anniversary chests. There are a lot of other items that I invest in or have a ton of for actual financial gain to some extent, but also fun. Kobon's a good example of it could have some financial gain, but it's mostly just for fun. Damp Rock is purely for fun. There's like 0 chance of that actually having any sort of financial gain. Goodie bags is pretty much purely financial gain. Anniversary presents, we can look at Santa presents or whatever, Xmas gifts and such. A lot of these are for, purely financial gain, but there are a lot that are also just for fun. So I think it's good to go ahead and explore those things. Figure out what items you like, whether it's just because of the visual, whether it's because of the gameplay style. Most people have some sort of item in the game that they are connected to for one reason or another. So go ahead and look through these, check things out, and just find an item to start collecting. Alright, number 8 is much more of a social one, but definitely I recommend at least doing to some extent, or maybe even trying out, which is leading a guild/team. Now, obviously not everyone can do this, but everyone can at least try to join a team and have fun with that. I definitely think for a lot of people it's worth to attempt to lead a team, not for some. I think it's a really fun thing to try. If you're thinking about it, if you're seriously considering it, definitely recommend it. Building a team or leading a team is a really serious thing. I will say you're in charge of a lot of people. You're in charge of their enjoyment of the game. You're in charge of social aspects, their interactions. Like, it's important to try to build the best environment possible for people. And I know this because I did actually co-lead a team way back in the day called 8-Bit Heroes, or EBH. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I was way too young, so I was able to I guess co-own it with an older friend of mine. It was a really fun time, and it was really enjoyable, and I just took the game super seriously, and it added a whole nother layer to the game, a whole nother level of management, the same way kind of content creation does, whether being a YouTuber or a streamer for the game. It adds a whole nother layer of things to enjoy in the game, and a whole nother layer of things to manage. It's almost like an entire game in itself, managing a team, trying to invite people to that team, trying to get people interested, trying to host events within that team, posting forum stuff about that team, making a forum page for that team, maybe making a shiny showcase for that team, like trying to create reason, make a Discord for the team. There's so many things you can do with it, and I think it's really, really interesting and a lot of fun. If you're someone who likes to be a leader, someone who thinks you're responsible enough, and someone who can like actually create and cultivate that atmosphere, I definitely recommend trying to lead a team. And if you know, if you're not, but you still like want to socialize and you still enjoy all those things and like the idea of it, definitely join a team. Absolutely 100%. Joining a team is one of the best ways to stay interested in Pokemon. When people are socializing, when people are talking, hey, what shinies did you guys get today? Hey, what did you do today? You know, what have you been up to? It's a really fun thing, and even that's a good way to get some ideas spurring around in your head. What other people are doing might give you those post-game goals. All right, now number 9 is going to kind of piggyback off of number 8 and talk about more of that sort of leading role in the social part of the game. We're going to be talking about hosting catch events or hide and seek events or other sorts of community events. If you actually open up the forums for PokeMMO, we can scroll over to the unofficial events page, scroll down and see all of these unofficial events happening, whether it's catch events, there's like betting and gambling and stuff going on, World Cup stuff. I don't know, like, you know, what all the specifics of everything, but there's some really cool stuff. Let's just go ahead and click on this one. I haven't seen this one yet. So Psychic Showdown, Abra, and Psyduck catch event. Let's go through it. What Pokemon will win this event? Abra / there's a little poll here talking about it, and then we see, look, this is like really nicely set up. This is a total just person who plays Pokemon. This is not a developer, not a staff member. He, you know, went through all of this effort to put together this really, really nice, beautiful looking, very official looking catch event, just so people can enter it and have the chance at winning a sort of prize. We can see first place prize here is any Ocarina plus a Riches Charm. Second place prize is one Shiny Charm plus an XP Charm, and then 100 RP for third place. I think it's really, really cool when people do this sort of thing. It's totally out of the generosity of their heart, and it's also a great way to just meet new people, have fun, spur some fun stuff in the community. And if you are a team leader or if you run a guild, you can actually use this as a great way to advertise for your guild. Say, hey, in this guild we do catch events like this all the time, a chance to earn some great prizes, meet a lot of people, have some fun, etc., etc. And I think it's a really fantastic thing. This is also a good example. Look, this guy has his Twitch link, so you can host catch events like this as a way to advertise your Twitch or your YouTube or your sort of content. I think it's a really fun thing. It's really fantastic for the community and usually for the person itself. It's just totally beneficial all around. A huge win-win. Alright, for the final post-game goal I wanted to talk about, you might already see what it is. It's going to be talking about decorating your secret base in the Hoenn region. So if you don't know, in the Hoenn region, you can actually find these little, I guess, locations in game where you're going to go ahead and click on them and use the move Secret Power. Make sure you have a Secret Power Pokemon. And what that's going to do is going to go ahead and open up that area that you can come inside, and you can actually go to this little computer over here and you can buy decorations or stuff for this at other like sort of locations. So I have nothing in my inventory for this, but oh no, look, we can go back. We can have a doll. I can show you guys. I have a Lotad doll, so I can go ahead and put this somewhere in here. This is once again something I've pretty much like not messed with at all. Something I have not really like done anything. I don't know how it works, right? Like I'm so unfamiliar with this mechanic in the game. It's hilarious. It seems like that is literally the only thing that I have, and I can't even place it, so I couldn't even tell you guys honestly how to fix that. But essentially you can buy furniture. Maybe I'd probably need to buy a desk or a mat or something to put it on, I would guess. But it's really cool. It's sort of a customization, sort of house building thing in PokeMMO, which honestly in most games is usually my favorite aspect. In Skyrim, my favorite thing is building homes, building the Heart Home expansion, actually building up your home and going through all of that and collecting things for it. In PokeMMO, I don't know why I haven't really gotten around to it yet. That's something I definitely want to go ahead and start putting some actual time into, because I think it's really fun. So maybe I'll even do a video series about that or something. In the top left, it says Patrouski's secret base, which I think is really cute. If you guys want to see more content around secret bases, let me know, because it's something that I definitely haven't explored too much in this game. So I could learn alongside you guys. I could learn about it, make some guides, etc., etc. I think that'd be a fun time. But I think this is a really cool goal. Hopefully this video helped you guys think of some cool post-game goals. I would love to do more content and more videos on this exact same subject because I think it is probably one of the most important questions to be answered within PokeMMO. A lot of people find themselves asking, what do I do post-game? What do I do now? I don't know what to do, and I want to be able to answer that question to help people have as much fun that I have in this game and help people play this game as long as I do, right? And have a fun time. Obviously, if you're not having fun, take a break, but I think it's important to give people that idea, and creating your own goals is the most important thing in PokeMMO. But anyways, that's enough rambling for one video. If you guys enjoyed this video and it was helpful, make sure to leave a like on it quickly. It helps me out a ton. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. I would love to hit 25K by the end of the year. Discord link is down below. Financial links are down below if you want to help the channel go above and beyond and just show some support. If not, that's okay. I appreciate it. Have a great day. I will see you guys later, and hopefully I'll even see you on PokeMMO. Hey, thanks for watching till the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And if your name is on here, I appreciate you even a little more. Thank you so much to everyone who goes above and beyond and supports the channel financially. It allows me to do what I do and just focus on making the best PokeMMO content possible. So thank you so much. Have a great day. I'll see you later. Peace.